Hey y'all, Bridget Bartlett here with Visual Marketing and Design, and today we are live inside of our team training where we are live Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So today what I'm going to show you how to do is create a survey. I'm going to give you a well-rounded overview. I'm going to create a survey with you or show you the back end of a survey that I created. I'm also going to show you how to customize it with CSS. There are some customizations that you can do already pre-built in HighLevel, but you may want a different result. So I have a code I'm going to share with you as well. I'm also going to show you how to create automations that trigger based on the survey submissions. We're going to talk about how to where you can find the analytics, the survey submissions, and I'm showing you right now in the conversations tab because I want to bring to your attention 3 areas in the conversations tab, which is also the profile of the people that are contacts in your CRM. Okay, so if you're unfamiliar, if this is your first time joining us, I do use HighLevel. That is the foundation of our program, among many other tools. You can actually register for this free training and receive the CSS code and all of the resources and other training that I have as well at bridgetbartlett.com. You can also join our program, whether you are a current HighLevel member, or you are interested in becoming a HighLevel member. We have options for you as well, again, at bridgetbartlett.com. Okay, so before we go into the surveys, I want to first show you, here are some survey options that, some really, advanced survey options. And when I say advanced, it's because this is all they do. Okay, now HighLevel, we have website builder, funnel builder, we have email marketing, text messaging, ringless voicemails, we have a power dialer, we have all of the things that you need to manage your business. But when you have a company that only focuses on one thing, obviously they're going to be better than a so-called all-in-one. Okay. And when I say better, I mean, it's probably going to have more bells and whistles, okay? And it should, because this is all they do. But you can see from the pricing that it actually can get very expensive. So the individual plan for this is $39 a month. The Team Advantage is $25 a month per user. And then you also have the Team Premier, okay? So if you, let's see, where did it have the other prices? I think here. Okay, so you can see the detailed plans here. Okay, so you can see it's pretty expensive. Now another competitor, and this is SurveyMonkey. Okay, another competitor is Typeform, and you'll see if you go to Typeform prices, again, it's pretty expensive. You got a monthly here, $29 a month, and this is for 100 responses, okay? And this is 100 responses a month. So if you get 100 leads or 100 people fill this out, you're already now over that. So you can also see that if you're running paid ads or something like that, this is going to really get expensive. So HighLevel makes that really easy because we have a survey builder. There's no limit to it. It's just one of the tools in your suite of tools that you can use for your business, okay? Now, one thing, if you are creating a survey and you have zero idea what to even ask or what to create, I mean, of course, this is custom for every business owner, but you can also go into Typeform, for example, and you can see some of the templates and the surveys and the quizzes and polls, and this will really give you a good idea. You can create a free trial or a free account and kind of get some ideas if you've never created a survey before, to kind of see the flow and understand, how are surveys being used, because I say this all the time, it's like tools are great, but it's really all about the strategy and how you use them for your business that's going to make the difference, okay? You can also do that with SurveyMonkey. You can check out the templates and things there as well, okay? Now, if you're super, super confused still and you're like, yeah, but I just need something specific and I don't know, maybe there's not a template for, joining a software reseller program. So you can actually just go to ChatGPT, like this example I just typed in, create 5 survey questions to ask for someone joining a software reseller program, and then it gives me some pretty decent questions to ask, okay? So this would be a great way to kind of pre-qualify people before you send them the link to your business. Now, in my specific business, we have solutions for, like I said, current HighLevel members, people who are not with HighLevel, and then we also have, of course, the free training and tools. And so if you are a business like that, where it's like, I don't want to just, my website is kind of like I have multiple solutions, and it just depends, on basically them and their business and their goals as to what solutions would work best for them. A survey is a great way of having them fill that out, and then you can route them wherever you want them to go. Okay, so definitely you could use ChatGPT for that. Now, inside of the account here, inside of your HighLevel account, I wanted to show you the contact, the general info, and the additional info. This is going to be really important when you're creating your forms or your surveys, because it's going to ask you where you want the info that you're creating, where do you want it to go? Okay, now typically I like to put it in additional info, and you can see here are some custom fields that I've created. So what would you like to discuss in your private coaching? What's your Facebook URL? And all of the custom fields that you create are going to be in this area if you chose additional info. Now, general info would be something like this, where it has, the time zone and all of those things. And of course you have the contact info. Okay. So as long as you understand that, now we want to actually go to the survey builder. So I'm going to go to sites, and you'll see surveys up here. Okay. Now I'm going to click in the builder, and I've already created like an application survey, but to create a new survey, you just need to click add new survey, and then you'll go to the editor just like this one. Okay. Now I created just simply, first of all, there's so many combinations there. I'm going to show you today a really simple way of doing this, just to give you an idea so you can kind of get your feet wet in the whole using HighLevel to create your surveys. But just know, this is a basic application, and there are some really advanced things that you can do with surveys to create estimates and, based on the answer using like math functions, and there's so many. So if you're looking for something really advanced, chances are HighLevel has this. But again, it's so dependent upon your business and the structure. Okay. Now, if I go to, let me show you this one first. If I go to this survey here, you will see that there are different slides here. Okay. And now these slides you could have multiple questions on the slide. You could have just one question on the slide. If you look at the live view of this slide here, so I'm going to go to integrate survey and grab the link. I'm going to open that up. You can see like this slide, for example, has 2 different questions on it. Okay. So if you want something like that, then you can use the slides. However, I actually like to just use the one slide here, and then I want to build all of my questions onto that slide. Okay. Now, when you do that, it's really cool because you can go to styles, and let me remember here where it's at. Go to options, maybe. Okay, one question at a time. Okay, so this is, of course, you could have this big long form if you wanted to, but that would be more like a form. What I wanted to do is just create this one slide, and then just have the survey be one question at a time. Okay, so it's going to ask them this first question, they're going to hit submit, and then it's going to go to the next question. Okay. Now, each of these are custom fields that I've added here. And just to give you a quick overview, we have the standard fields, and these are all fields that are basically going to end up in that first area where it says contact or general information. These are pre-built, so it already knows where to put this information, okay? Now, when you're creating a custom field, though, you can create any type of field that you want to, but you need to tell it basically where to put it, okay? So you can see that I've created all of these custom fields, and that is what these are coming from, okay? So if I want to add a new custom field, I just need to click there. Now, if I want my answer to be like a single line text, okay, then I want to choose this option. If I want a multi-line, and multi-line would be like let's say that I ask them, what's the name of your, what's the name of your pet or something like that. Then they would just, put a short answer there. That could be single line. Multi-line would be like, do you have any questions or comments or concerns, something like that, where they may have multiple sentences and you want that answer to be multi-line. You also have the text box list. You have number values. So if if they're entering in a number and you want to use that math function, like you're doing estimates and things like that, you want to choose that. And that's how the system knows that it's an actual number. Also the phone number, you have monetary values, you have drop down single option or drop down multiple options. So if you want them to be able to choose one or multiple, you can choose the drop down box here. I like to choose the radio select because that's going to allow them to choose one option, but they can see all of the options stacked on top of each other. Check boxes would be if you wanted them to see the multiple options, but also select multiple options. So this would be kind of like a version of this one, except you're seeing all the options here, and here it's just from a drop down menu. Radio select would be the single option as well, but you're putting it in a drop down type of menu. We also have a date picker. So if you want them to choose, maybe the date that they're interested in an estimate or something like that. And then they can also upload or even sign the form. Okay, so it's really cool if you pull it up on your phone, your website, you had that signature form in your field, or maybe you want them to upload, their logo for onboarding or something like that. They could actually just sign with their finger or, a pen, a stylus pen, and then upload there. Okay, so I like to choose the radio select, so I would choose that. And then here you're going to choose what is the question. Okay, so if I'm saying, what is your experience level with digital marketing? I can choose the contact object. Okay, so that's just going to be a contact. And then here's what I was saying about the group that we're going to put this information in. Do we want it in that top section that I showed you where it's the contact? Do we want it in the general information or additional information? I typically, for something like this, I like to choose additional information. And then here is where you want to put all of your questions. Okay, so if it was the answers to this question, what is your experience level in digital marketing? I would say, no experience at all. I could add another option here and say 1 to 2 years, or I could say I am an expert with more experience than you. I can't even say that. Okay. And then of course you could also allow custom values. That's a whole other training, but so many customizations. You can also choose here for additional options as well. Okay. So that is the basic way that you want to create your own custom field. Okay. So if you're creating surveys, most of them are probably going to be custom fields. Now, once you create that, you're going to save that, and then it's going to go right here into your list. And then all you need to do is just drag it over here, and then now you have your survey questions. Okay. So when you click on this, you can choose, first of all, if you wanted to edit it, you could do that there. Let's go back and click here. And then you also have, the field title and the placeholder, the query key. You can learn more about that. Here it says the query key can be found used as a URL parameter to populate this field. So again, like I said, I could talk all day about the different options available in the survey, how you can use them for some really advanced things. But really, I just want you to get an idea of how you could use surveys, and then how you could really eliminate a large expense if you're already using surveys, and then just build them into your HighLevel account. That way you don't have to worry about integrations, you don't have to worry about the extra fees, or you don't have a limit on the amount of submissions that people are entering into your survey. Now, what's really, really cool is when you choose this, you can make it required or a hidden field. Hidden fields are required is pretty self-explanatory. They cannot submit the survey or go to the next step unless they have selected this option. A hidden field is something that you would want to use if they were you wanted to transfer that information to maybe the second page of a funnel, and that's a whole other training all in itself, but you do have that option there. So if you're familiar with hidden fields, just know that we do have the option to use that as well. So here is where we're going to choose the conditional logic. Okay, this is really the magic where the survey comes in. Okay, so now if they answer this question, I can select what do I want to happen? Okay. I can send them to question 2, 3, 4. I could send them to, so if they answer 0, maybe I just want to skip past all of this and then just go right to the form where they would enter in their first name. I could totally do that. Or maybe I would want to just completely disqualify them, or maybe I would want to disqualify them after they have answered all of the questions. Okay. So I can decide at that point, what do I want to happen once they answer this answer in this question? Okay. So then, of course, I have that option for these as well. So for this, and I'm going to show you how to do this in the automations as well, but for this, I could just leave blank. Okay, now I am going to require that. But for this next one here, you'll see if they say that they are already a HighLevel member, I'm going to send them to question 3. If they say that they have their own HighLevel account, I can choose to disqualify them. Now, that doesn't mean that they're technically disqualified from the program, but you do have one way. You have basically 2 routes. They're either qualified or they're disqualified. So if I wanted to send them to a different website upon submitting the survey, I want to just send them to a website, I can mark them as disqualified to send them to one URL. I can have them submit the survey, and if they are qualified, send them to a different URL. Okay, so disqualify is not necessarily really disqualified. It's just a way for you to weed out and have different options. Okay, so just so that you know that. Also, do they have a Stripe account? And you can see that I have nothing selected here, but of course I could just send them to the 4th question. Okay, so question number 4, and then we could do this, and then of course I could send them to question number 5, and then question number 5. Okay, so you would just want to go on like that. Now, you'll notice down here that I actually have the contact information as the last slides. Okay, now the reason is because when people are taking surveys, it's better to have that information, especially if you have lots of questions, at the end, because if you have it at the beginning, they may not even know what they're really, why would they enter their information. But also, if you have lots of questions, it's like, you've seen this all the time where it says, what type of zoo animal are you? And then you fill out all of the questions, and then it's like, oh, enter in your info to get the result. And then you can email the result or whatever. But it's kind of like it's less converting for sure, but it's almost like a hard stop, when people, they land on your survey page and then they immediately have to enter in their info before they even start answering the questions. Now, once they're answering the questions, though, they're getting more and more curious. Do they qualify, right? So then by the time they get to this point, they're more likely to enter in their info. And you'll also see I strategically put the phone number as the last option here, because that's really the last thing that people want to give. But I also didn't make this required, so they don't have to technically enter anything in here to submit the form. Okay, so this is the basic survey here. Okay, now I can click out of here. We're going to go back. You can see the different style options. So you have, show the label. You can create different, style of border and the radius and padding and shadows, and you can change the colors here and all of these things. Okay, so lots that you can do here, but you may want to customize this. Okay, so I'm going to delete this CSS code. I'm going to show you what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and save, and then I'm going to go to integrate, and then I want to look at what this looks like without the custom code. Okay, so you can see we have this blue color down here, we have this blue progress bar, and then we have the black bottom down here. So if I wanted this to look different, other than the differences that it allows me to inside the editor, I can actually add this code. I'm going to go ahead and save that. And then if I go back to the survey now, you'll see that now it looks different. It has my branded colors. It just looks a little bit more updated. And you'll see as I go through, I can just answer these here. And then I'll enter in my name. So we'll just say Bridget and my last name, and we'll just add an email address, and then we won't put a phone. We'll just submit. Okay, so now it's submitted, and it's going to send me to the correct page in the website. So that's how that works. Okay, so the custom code, you guys can go and just look for this training is called Create Surveys and Custom Colors with CSS. And then you'll see the custom code here. All you need to do is paste it into this box, this custom CSS box in the form. And the only thing that you need to worry about changing is the bold text here. So you just want to put your, you want to put the background color here. And then if you scroll down, you'll see more bold text. And then you want to put your color here that you want to choose. And then if you scroll down, you'll see the third one here. So you just want to change those colors, whatever hex code you want, and then that will update your survey. Okay, so you don't have to worry about, you know, being a coding person or whatever. You can just use that code there. Now, the next part of this is what do we do once someone has submitted the form? Okay, so we can go to automations here, and I'm just going to look for survey. And we have the survey application here. And you'll see here that I set the trigger to be this specific survey. Okay, so you just want to look for the trigger called survey submitted. And to do that, you'll see if you just type in survey, you'll see survey submitted. Okay, so this is the trigger that we have. It's just, you know, everyone who submits the survey is going to go through this workflow. Okay, now I could add a filter here for the people who were disqualified. Are they disqualified, true or false? And then base this workflow off of that. But in this example, it's just simply everyone who filled out the survey. Now I did create a step here, which is the if-else conditional logic. And all you need to do is click the plus sign, and you can scroll down here and you'll see this option. Okay. Now, when you select that, you'll see that I have 3 different branches here, and it always will add the none. So if no one meets these conditions, then it's going to go into this category. Okay. So here we have the no experience. So if they fill out the survey and let me just, I'll show you how to do this in just a second. But if they fill out the survey and they answer 0, I'm a complete beginner, maybe I want to send them an email and say, you know, maybe you're not quite ready for this, or maybe I want to offer them a private consultation so that I can kind of help them figure out if this is going to be the best solution for them, or maybe I need to work with them, you know, do the private consultation to get the things that they need, like a Stripe account, to purchase a domain, and all of those beginner things that an experienced marketer already knows how to do. Okay, so I could create a step here for the ones who answer I'm a complete beginner. And then I can add anything that I want to here. I can send an email, I could send a ringless voicemail, I can send a text message, and I could completely build out a completely different workflow based on this answer here. Now, if they decide, or if they answer that they are already a HighLevel, or they are not a HighLevel member, okay, so are you currently a HighLevel member? If their answer is no, I do not have an agency account, then we can trigger this part of the automation, and then we could send them an email and say, great, here's my affiliate link for HighLevel, here's all the benefits that we have, here is, you know, all the things that we do and resources and da-da-da-da. If they say they already have HighLevel, then I can send them all the info about, you know, being a reseller and all of the, you know, the training and support and all of those things that we offer as well. Now, if I did want to add an additional branch here, okay, and when I say additional branch, not a step, I could add an additional condition here, and I could choose and or. So I could really build out, you know, like I was saying, it can get really, really advanced, but I just want to try to keep it simple. So I could add a different condition. I could also add a different segment within this same branch, okay? But here I'm creating a new branch, so it's going to be, you know, one of the 3 plus the none. Okay. So in this branch, I could go to, and the way that you can access the answers there, go to contact details, and then you're going to scroll down, and then you'll start seeing in the custom fields all of the fields that you've created. Okay. So if I wanted to now choose, do you already have a website domain? And I can choose, is the next step. Do I want this next branch? Is it going to be is not empty, or is empty? Let's just say is. And then I can choose one of the answers on that were available for that question. So do I want this branch to trigger so that when they answer no, that they've never purchased a website domain, or yes, that they have a domain already? Okay, so if I wanted to do that, that's how easy it would be to do that. Okay, so now once I save, now you can see here how you can build onto that. So I could send a voicemail, a text. I could actually add them to a manual call list. I could send a Facebook Messenger if they have messaged me, inside Facebook or Instagram and so on. Okay. I could add them to a manual list where I am going to manually text them. Of course, we're trying to eliminate everything manual, but you do have all of these options. I could even create an account inside of our affiliate manager system. I could add a tag. I could remove a tag, add them to the opportunity pipeline. I could add notes. I could assign them to a user. So maybe I have a user inside of our a team member who is, specifically designated for people who need the extra assistance. Then I could do that. I could also remove. I could set an event date. I could add them to a different workflow. I have all of these options here. I could even send an internal notification or set them to D&D. So many things that I could do here, and I could even grant them access to a specific membership area if maybe I have a separate training that really breaks down, that's very beginner friendly. I could, of course, also add an additional conditional logic, a wait step, a webhook. I could add a go-to step, math operations, and even goals events. Okay, so that is all of the things that you can do inside of the automations just based off the answers. Okay, so you can see why I don't want to get too advanced today, because there really are, I'm seeing people and agencies creating some really, really impressive workflows based on the survey answers. Okay. Now, the next thing that I wanted to show you is if you go back to sites, so we go into surveys, you'll see when I click on the drop down menu that we have the analyze. Okay. So if you click on analyze, you'll see, and you can choose by the date that you want to check them out. But you'll see all the different surveys that you have. In this account, I only have 2, but you can actually see how many submissions that you have, and you can view the submissions here. Okay. Now this actually will take you to the same spot here that I was just going to next for submissions. Okay. So you can search for the person by name, email, phone, or contact ID. You can see the list here. You can actually delete the submission. You can download the submissions that are in the current page. You could also export all of the submissions into a CSV folder. You can also view them here. And like I showed you in the beginning, you can also view in their actual profile. Okay, so that makes it really friendly. You can also tell which page they actually submitted the survey on. So there's lots of information that you can get from that survey as well. All right, guys, so I know that was really, really fast. I do see Terry says, this is so cool. I'm going to tweak my surveys. Yay! I see someone on Facebook says, I need one of the private consultations. You can actually go to bridgetbartlett.com. I can show you here. bridgetbartlett.com. And you can go to contact and book a private consultation there, and then go ahead and do that, and I can help you out with that. I do see that McCall says this is cool. I like how there's no need to break hearts by disqualifying so many options with surveys. So true. I do see Floyd is watching as well. Oh, Serena, nice to meet you, Serena. Cindy says, now I need to self-pace and learn more about surveys constructions. Yeah, definitely do some research. There's nothing new created under the sun, right? So every survey, every website, I mean, everything that we do, even art, is based off of the inspiration from other things. Okay, so you don't need to copy, but you can definitely check out, see how they have structured these things. See all of their templates there. You can use Typeform as well. I think Typeform probably has more surveys and more styles and things. But like I said, once you get a good style, you can also go to ChatGPT and just have it help you with the questions and answers. Okay. Thank you all so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I will see you all tomorrow, same time, same place. Go make your vision a reality. Bye. Thank you so much for joining us for today's training. If you have any questions, you can join us for open office hours starting right now at bridgetbartlett.com. It's free and open to everyone, so I'll see